Oh, hello, hello, hello. Let me get full screen here. Man, how's everybody doing today? It is episode 99. It's a dumpster fire out there. Hopefully, everyone's having an okay time. Let me get this banner up here. I think it's kind of annoying. Oh, man. Hopefully, everyone's okay today. It's been a little bit ruthless. Oh, my God. It's like, when is the bleeding going to stop? We've seen a little bit of a bounce. Guys, I'm going to break through with everything that happened today. Obviously, Nvidia came to save our bags in the last hour. Things are bouncing a little bit. Thank you so much, Jensen Wong. We love you. We love you, sir. Guys, this is like kind of what's going on right now. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. As the house is burning down to the ground. Oh, nah, it's not that bad, guys. It could be worse. It could always be worse. Man, there's a lot of stuff that happened today. We had the Fed minutes. We had some news out of the White House that could impact the Fed decision in December. We had some stuff with Japan going on. I'm trying to think what else we had, man. Jeez, craziness. Oh, Vitalik. Woke up to some news from Vitalik fudding our bags. Like, come on, bro. Like, we already have enough going on. You don't need to fud our bags too. Okay, like, shut up. It's all good. He said, go get stacking BTC through the ups and downs. You know what? Smart money stacking. I'm talking a little bit about that. You know what? The silver lining here, the deep end projects are building, man. The fundamentals keep getting stronger. It's like, gosh, the bags, it's like, okay, they're at a discount, but how much more discounted are they going to get? I'm like, shit. But, DCA is the way, man. Don't try to catch a falling knife or a falling sword in this case. DCA is the way. Anytime that we've been seeing any major drops in the projects I have a lot of conviction for looking forward, I've been buying up the dips. So that's my plan. We'll see how this all works out, man. you guys are all on this journey with me. So I still got a smile on my face, at least while I'm on the camera. Not just kidding. Just kidding. Let's see. I put this post out there earlier today, man. I was just like, Japan carry trade unwinding. Fed minutes show concerns over AI bubble popping. December rate cut looking less likely. Vitalik warns of quantum threats. Woo! Man, just a lot going on. Actually, and here's what I woke up to this morning. All these reports, people are tweeting. They're like, Vitalik, obviously the founder of Ethereum, talking about, oh, hey, by the way, well, originally it was a 20% quantum risk by 2030. And that was what he said back in August. But then this one started going around this morning. Oh, by the way, maybe it's not 2030 and 20% chance, but he said by 2028. Like, bro, come on, man. We don't need this right now. It says that future quantum computers could break elliptic curve cryptography. And he urged the community to move Ethereum onto quantum-resistant foundations within a few years, framing the risk in terms of the 2028 election as a visible milestone on the horizon. So people took this and ran with it for sure. Spreading FUD this morning. Didn't see a big sell-off from that necessarily, but I saw it all over the timeline. But here's some nuances. Not all coins are equally exposed. In particular, this is like some of the older wallets that could be exposed. This is certainly a threat, guys. But you start hearing these reports and you're like, oh, maybe the OG whales were selling for a different reason other than there's just liquidity now. You start thinking about these things and the market starts freaking out. It says the threat is not immediate and quantum resistant cryptography already exists. I'm gonna do a little bit more in-depth analysis on this one day. It's not something that we need to talk about right now. I put a video out on. I used to post more on TikTok. I don't really mess with that anymore, but I put a video on there like 2 years ago about this. And people in the comments are like, "Oh, crypto, quantum's never going to be a risk." And now it's like, "Oh, okay." But I don't think it's anything we have to worry about right now. Okay, so the Fed minutes came out today. And this is, basically a summary of what happened in the last FOMC meeting. It generally comes out about 3 weeks after the meeting. This is something that people were kind of like freaking out about. And it was all over the timeline. And I'll show you the impact it had, and why it had such an impact on the markets. But this in particular is the part that people are really hung up on, I think. It said that several participants assessed that a further lowering of the target range for the federal funds rate could well be appropriate in December if the economy evolves about as expected. Okay, so that's several. But it says many participants suggested that under their economic outlooks, it'd be appropriate to keep the target range unchanged. So, okay. I mean, what's your interpretation of several versus many? I think most people would think that many would be more than several. So I think this people are kind of taking this and they're like, hey, many means that there's more people in the Fed committee that are for not changing rates. And then it's like, well, they said that, it's not on a preset course and be informed by a wide range of incoming data. So it's like, hey, they're going to look at the data and they're going to make a decision. And the White House is like, the fuck you are. We're not giving you any data from October. Like, oh, come on, man. There was a bone here. Yeah, so they said that October labor data is not coming. Obviously, okay, so this was during the government shutdown. They sent out surveys. They missed the window to get the surveys out, with the government shutdown. But obviously, basically the Fed minutes said, hey, everything hinges on the data. And everyone's like, well, you're not getting the data. Jerome Powell's already said, hey, we're not going to fly blind and make decisions based on not having data. And that is why this happened. You see this big swing. In particular, the likelihood of a quarter point cut dropped by 23% today. No change. It went from about a 50-50 now to no change being a 2/3 likelihood or 67%. This is, I think, what the markets really reacted to today. This is the big deal here. The good news, the silver lining, is that if we do get a rate cut now, there's a lot of upside that can come in the markets. Now that the markets have adjusted to this and are expecting there not to be a rate cut. So that's good. If we get a rate cut, it's good. I would think what the FOMC meeting, I think, is December 11th, December 10th, December 11th. That's just off the top of my head. Hopefully they can get some data out before that, man, because if they don't have any data, I don't know that the Fed will change rates. So the White House is going to have to make a decision there. I don't know what to do. This is something that's kind of flying under the radar I want to bring up. I haven't talked about in a while, and that is the Japan reverse carry trade. Yields are up to all-time highs, and this is as they're printing stimulus money they approved. Not good. Not good. The unwinding of the reverse carry trade. So this is something, basically Japan has kept the rates super low by just printing money and buying up their own debt to create, artificial demand, if you will, to keep the rates low. For years, people have gone over there, taken out, loans in yen at very low interest rates and invested it all over the place. We saw this kind of happen in August of 2024. It caused that big crash just over a year ago because the fear was that this would start unwinding. So this is not good. This is kind of a ticking time bomb, potentially. The question really is, okay, after that scare last August, did people already start to kind of get out of that trade once they realized the risk? You'd have to think that some people de-risked out of that, but it is something that could absolutely have an impact at some point. So that is not great. There's this report that this guy Crypto Rover put out. I tried to find this in the minutes. I couldn't find it myself, so I don't know if this is actually true. He said that they were warning of a drop in stocks if AI expectations are suddenly reevaluated. He said, mark my words, the AI bubble burst, aggressive QE. And that is probably true. If the AI bubble burst, then we're kind of screwed for a little bit, at least. That's been holding up the economy. I know that I do watch Fed Jerome Powell's statements all the time. And he did say like a couple months ago that they definitely realize the vast majority of the growth right now in the economy is because of AI. So obviously this would be a big deal. That said, well, this has now happened. Will they beat their quarterly earnings? And they did. Indeed. And you love to see that. This was a big risk coming in. This just came out like 45 minutes ago, guys. NVIDIA beats their earnings. It's amazing. They actually even came out and said they sold out all of their Blackwell. I mean, they're completely sold out. And that's massive. I think it says down here. Nah. Here it is. They sold out their sales of their Blackwell chips. This is their newest one, are off the charts, and cloud GPUs are sold out. Wow. They're guiding revenue of up to $66 billion next quarter. Not to mention, I believe the Saudis came in to the White House this week and like pledged like $1 trillion in investment, and they are opening up NVIDIA chips to them now. So that's interesting as well. What are we seeing here? So here is the NVIDIA stock. Let me reload this again to see what's happening. After markets here, 2.85. After hours, up 11.6. Oh, $11.868, 6.26%. I mean, doesn't sound big, but on a company that's a $5 trillion company, that's a huge freaking deal, man. That's a lot. That is a lot. So that's good. That's why things are bouncing back right now, guys, because it was looking pretty dire up until then. What's Bitcoin sitting at? Over 90,000. A little bump, but I gotta say things are still looking a little bearish. Ain't gonna lie. Let's talk about liquidity real quick, and we'll move into crypto. Reverse repo market is officially gone. They are no longer going to be able to pump liquidity into markets with this. While they were, officially on quantitative tightening, they were still pushing liquidity into markets. This is they basically built this up to $2.5 trillion. So really going back to 2022, they were pushing liquidity into markets through this reverse repo function. $2.5 trillion that is now in the markets, and they no longer have funds here, so they can't do it anymore. That was kind of like a stealth QE without it really being QE. So it should not be a shock to anyone that we've seen a little bit of liquidity issues in the markets. This is actually another reason why. So as the government shut down, you can look at this like the checking account for the Treasury, it's their general account. This had started rising. And they do build this up purposely from time to time, but like it had gotten up like much higher than it normally is, up to $950 billion. Part of that was that the government was shut down; they couldn't spend it. So there are reports that today, significant decline for the first time. $34 billion started going out as of today. So we're starting to see money flow out of there. So that's liquidity going back into the markets. That's fantastic news. And of course, December 1st, quantitative tightening is ending. So what we've seen here, really since QT started, back here. So this is when they add to their balance, that means that they're pushing liquidity into markets. What we've seen really since they started going on the QT framework is that they have let them run off the books. They have not been buying and adding to their holdings, which means that is effectively liquidity going from 9 trillion down to 6.5 trillion. That's $2.5 trillion that has kind of been pulled from markets. Of course, on the reverse repo side, they've kind of offset. But the question is, so this runoff will end on December 1st. When will QE start? That is the big question for all of us, guys. When will they start to increase this balance sheet, and when will they start to ease and put liquidity back into markets? To me, that is where we start to see things really move back in the other direction. Not to say we can't see bounces along the way, but I think that's what we really need to see. Hopefully soon. Of course, you have to worry about inflation coming back when you do that, but it's good for risk on assets. That is for sure. And then who is Trump going to put in as the Fed chair? He said he knows. I think he came out today. He was like, I know who I'm putting in there. We don't know yet. There's different rumors going around. But anyway, let's talk about some crypto. Fear and Greed Index 15. This is the longest streak in extreme fear officially since FTX fell out back in 2022. So we are seeing some historical extreme fear. Pretty bad, guys. Pretty bad out there. Doesn't always mean that's the bottom, but we have seen in many cases it has been. But I think there's a lot of reasons to potentially be optimistic about things turning around at some point, but it doesn't mean we won't see more downside in the interim. We had gotten down to about 88, into the 88,000s. Not quite below. Back up over 90 with the NVIDIA news, but man, we just haven't really seen any big bounces for real and sustained bounces. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, though, that just a week ago we were over 100. Because we were at 103 a week ago. Maybe short-term bias here, but I don't know, man. Brandon, I'm in his group now, and he's like, look, if we break below 88, this thing could drop a lot further. I think for us to really reclaim and get back to being bullish again, to really, really be bullish in the long-term time frame, we got to get back above 110. We are nowhere close right now. So we could see more downside. We could see more chopping. It's freaking annoying. It is annoying, but just like our good friend B13SR, who's been buying through the ups and downs, he's been stacking. He's not the only one, guys. UAE tripled their investment of Bitcoin holdings, ETF holdings, to $518 million. How about that? Harvard, I covered this 2 days ago. They have almost $500 million. Like, they have more Bitcoin than any stock in their holdings in their endowment. That's insane. El Salvador, about 100 million. MicroStrategy's been buying. You've got freaking all the smart money is buying, y'all. In fact, if you look, this is when they consider whales holdings of 1,000 or more Bitcoin. Whales are buying up, y'all. We are seeing the small, retail, the weak hands really sell. They're getting scared. I get it, but the whales are buying. Smart money is buying. Okay. It's a tale as old as time. We see it time and time and time again. And then you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, they were smart for buying. Huh. How about that? And you know what? I posted this today. The big picture, guys. Zoom out, man. Like, think about the whole thesis here. This is from one of the books I read recently. He talks about right here. All told, 44% of all US dollars ever created were turned out in 2020 and 2021. In that 2-year span, 44% of all dollars ever created. Shit, we had inflation, man. And you know what? They're going to have to keep doing that. They're going to have to keep printing. Maybe not at that magnitude. I hope not. But yeah, QE is going to start up again. That's the only way to keep this train going, or it's going to fall off the rails. And what does that mean? Inflation. Bitcoin and gold are going to go much, much higher in the future. So, this short-term price action, whatever, man. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks to wake up like every day for the last month. It's like red, 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 red. It's like, fuck, man. But it happens. The longer-term thesis, when you zoom out, even look at the Bitcoin chart, you zoom out, everyone's like, oh my God, look at the world's ending. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's not so bad. Sucks right now, though. I get it. Ethereum below 3,000. Disgusting. Solana. Disgusting. $134. God, man. It was not that long ago. It was like into September. We were at $250. What the hell? Government had shut down. CZ had to liquidate everybody in the world. That was cool. Market cap did get an all-time high, but it doesn't even matter, man. We're at $134. But you know what does matter? If I can get where's my freaking... There we go. I lost control of my mouse. All right. This matters. All the spot ETFs are getting approved. The Fidelity spot ETF got approved for Solana, the biggest one so far. Inflows are up, man. Like 867 million. We're seeing actual inflows in Solana while all this sell-off is happening. So, I don't actually know who's selling. Institutional adoption's happening though. They're buying. So that's cool to see. When things turn around, man, like we just don't know what the bottom is, but things are going to go higher again. It's not like the amount of people that are like, crypto's over forever. Those people are going to be the ones that are back, like degenning their bags, buying meme coins in like 3 months, like, I'm never doing crypto again. Like, whatever, bro. Let's talk about DePIN. Aoki has some big ass announcements, y'all. Like, first paid pilot in the US with their Cactus product. Of course, that's what they're doing with a lot of different grocery stores. So that allows them to basically do like VR for like employees to leave notes for each other. It's saving a tremendous amount of time. It's it's a cool product, man. They are working with a ton of locations overseas, but the first one in the US. So it's in New England, Fortune 500 company, 3 locations in 3 states, man. That is freaking awesome. Congratulations to Aoki. Of course, this is just a day after they announced this. They added a $16 billion real estate giant to their customer list. Guys, this project is absolutely crushing it. Aoki continues to impress. The market conditions freaking suck, but look at who's building. Pay attention to who's building, who's getting the customers. The stuff they're doing in robotics is absolutely insane, and robotics is going to be the next thing to run. I mean, and not just in crypto and like everything. It's the next big movement. Sitting at 0.013. That's not great. I think I DCA'd a little bit right around here. So right about where we are right now. Maybe I'll add more. Look, this is one that I've been DCAing. I've been very verbal about that, very open with you guys. I think Aoki's going to be a leader. Hive Mapper announced. Did someone say buybacks? Yeah. I've said buybacks. I said on the AMA. I said it to Ariel and Adam on my space. I've been like buybacks. Not just buybacks, open market buybacks and transparency. Been beating that drum all year with him, and they're doing it, guys. How about that? Buybacks. They go through. They talk about how does the data buying work. Okay, it's not like instant transactions. They're like, hey, we have a billing process. We have, people buy data credits. They use them over time, et cetera, et cetera. Great. I'm glad they explain all this, but the big thing is transparency, guys. And they gave the account. They're like, hey, okay, you can see it on chain yourself. That I appreciate. So happy to hear it. Happy to see they're doing it. They better get that revenue up though, because boy, it is not looking too great on the token price. It got down to like 0.007 earlier. That was disgusting. But again, market conditions terrible. Open market bias, transparency is good. So I'm glad that they made those changes. We'll keep an eye on Honey. Looking forward to see what happens with all of that. But good changes, man. Good changes. I like to see it. Let's see here. 375 AI. I posted my first deep dive in quite a while today. Posted it this morning. Highly encourage you guys to check that one out. You guys know I've been talking about 375 AI like nonstop. I've also been buying it like nonstop since their TGE got as low as like 0.028, so 2.8 cents. Insane. What's it at right now? Just under 5. Got a couple more purchases in today. Anytime I see something like this, boom. Like that was at like 5 o'clock. Well, no, like 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, just 5:30. I was like, saw that sell off and was like, yep, buying more. Any big dips I've been buying on this. 5.5 cents is their early investor rounds. So, I mean, we're still below that. To me, that's a buy. But DCA is the way. So 375 AI crushing it. I talked to Harry today, actually. He's like, man, I'm just glad to have TGE behind us. Glad to have our fundraising rounds behind us. He's in New York talking to prospective clients. They might have some big customer announcements coming soon, man. I don't know. But that's one I would say to have on your radar. Check out that video I put out, guys. They're crushing it. GeoNet, you can go. You can see their open market buys. They've been buying a lot on chain recently from their revenue and burning out of supply forever. At this point, what, 14 cents? I mean, I have my bag. I'm just holding. I'm holding it. Something's got to give at some point, man. They're getting close to being net deflationary too. So, and if price doesn't go up a lot by June, they will be net deflationary for sure. And then I expect that we will see some price appreciation at some point, guys. This is the fundamentals on this are strong as fuck. Like, I just don't understand what's going on there. Helium had a update. They said there's an update recently that they had some issues with one of their carriers. So I know I talked to some people that were seeing some issues on their deployments. I think it's been resolved at this point. I'm not positive on that. We have seen the price of helium. Is it still the price right now? Let's see. $2.08 down since the other day. Still, since they announced their open market buys in the horrible conditions, we're still at 15% from there if you look at the last month. But I don't know. I'm not sure if their issues they had affected their revenue coming in and subsequently their open market buys. That would be interesting. Actually, I should go on chain and check that out. If that outage is what impacted their open market buys and that's why we saw this drop, that would be quite an interesting data point to point out that the open market buys are having quite an impact. So that's something I'll look into for sure. But still holding at $2.08 since we started adding after that announcement at $1.81. So I'm feeling fine about that, especially given the market right now. And leave you with this. I was supposed to go on Tuesday morning with the DeepIn Coffee Hour, but we had Cloudflare issues. We couldn't go live. So we're going to do it tomorrow morning instead. Man, so tomorrow morning I'm going to have my coffee hour and a happy hour. It's going to be a long day. But exciting nonetheless. We'll be talking about robotics. So tomorrow morning, bright and early. And I don't know if I'll have the live stream tomorrow or not, since I have a live stream there and a live stream tomorrow night. We'll see. One other thing I wanted to mention that I'm going to start doing, pretty excited about actually, on Fridays, I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start with DeepIn. So I have my live streams throughout the week. I'm going to start cutting out my highlights. So DeepIn highlights of the week, I'm going to put it into one video on Fridays. So I know like these live streams, depending on the day, sometimes different times, right? If I have a lot of meetings, a lot of calls and stuff, sometimes I have to shift it. I know not everyone can be on here, and they're long, so people don't like want to sit there and watch through all this. So I know most of my subscribers are, some care about the macro a lot. Like just want to see the DeepIn stuff. So make it a little bit easier for you guys to find that. So I'll be hitting the highlights, cutting them out, putting them in a video at the end of each week for the stuff I covered. So we'll see how that goes, and if people like that, and then I might consider also doing it for macro and broader crypto as well in a separate video. But I'm gonna start with DeepIn first to see what people think. Oh, that's what I got for you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful hump day. It felt like a hump day. I felt like the market was bending me over today. I'm not gonna lie, it was brutal. But you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Right. We'll look back at these days and be like, man, do you remember Q4 of 2025? We'll be like, that was awful. We'll be like, yeah, it was. Hopefully we'll be able to laugh about it someday. We'll see. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will be back with y'all. If you can, tune in tomorrow morning for the DeepIn Coffee Hour. Appreciate you guys. Peace.